Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel, or welcome back if you've been here before. My name's Liz and this is Let's Get Lezical, where we do everything card making. Today I'm going to be doing like a pretty simple card I showed on my Instagram the other day. I had no intention of doing a video for this originally, but I had someone in the comments ask to do it. So, you know, if one person asks me to do it, I'm going to do it. So what we're doing is we're making a chocolate bar card today, and since I don't make two of the same cards like ever, I decided to do this one in purple and gold, so it's kind of like a Willy Wonka kind of chocolate bar. And I'll be using a different stamp set as well. You can use whatever you guys have in your stash. I just happened to love the Hog Heaven stamp set from MFT, which I don't think is available anymore, but I'll try to link something that they have available similar down in the description below. But what I did was I cut a 4 by 5¼ inch panel in the brown, and then I also cut down some 1 by 1 squares. You need 12 of them, and then you're going to need 12 3/4 inch squares. You can get away with less if you want. You can just do the top 2 rows and then maybe the middle and right one on the 3rd row, because you don't really see the other ones. It will get covered up by the quote-unquote wrapper that we're putting on it. So you could save yourself some time by just aligning the top couple rows and then plus another one on the 3rd row. But I decided just to do the full-on chocolate bar. If you want, you don't even have to add the wrapper. Originally, I was not going to on my first card, and then I just thought it was like missing something. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna put like a chocolate bar wrapper on this. So I ended up doing it in the magenta and silver with the elephant image. This time I'm doing it in purple and gold with the pig image. And here I am. I was testing ink blending. I was wondering if it would look better if I individually ink blended the boxes, because I will go and ink blend over this in a bit once they're all adhered. I think I liked it doing it after. It just gives it a little bit more depth and texture for me, but you can do whatever way works for you. For the spacing on these squares, for the first card, I kind of introduced it at the beginning of the video last Friday. I was using a 3x4 grid that I have available in my Etsy shop. And maybe you guys have one in your stash, because I've seen dies out there for it as well, but I was using that as a guideline, which is a bit quicker than doing it this way. But if you're doing it this way, you just need to leave a 1/4 inch border and then leave a 1/4 inch spacing in between all the blocks, and the math works out great, which is what I'm doing here. And this takes probably the most amount of time on the card. Again, I did test maybe cutting off the corners for all of the squares, which again, I didn't think was 100% necessary, so I didn't end up doing it. But if you wanted to round all the corners on your squares, you could. I'm just going to round the corners on the full panel and then the bottom half of the like purple wrapper just to match it. But again, like, you do you and figure out which one you prefer. You can test it out and do a couple of them and see which one you like better. I like it this way better. So again, just rounded those 4 corners, and I'll round the 2 on the bottom part of the purple, because we'll just be cutting the top off anyway. So what I'm doing is I'm taking my Simon's Positively Saturated ink in the mocha color, and I'm just gonna go around the edge of the card. I'm not even gonna go all the way down, because I don't need to ink blend. The places are gonna get covered over anyway. And then I'm just kind of running in between the layers just to give it a little bit more like depth. Like, those are like the portions that you would like snap apart on like a Cadbury chocolate bar. And once we're done that, we're just gonna work on the wrapper portion. So what I did was, like, I kind of like guessed the proportions when I was cutting it. I just like cut a chunk off, held it up to the card, and then didn't like it, so I cut some more off. But if you want actual measurements, I used 3 7/8 on the left and 2 1/8 on the right. You could round those numbers out, of course, if you wanted to. You could go to like 3 3/4 by 2 or whatever. But those are the measurements I used. And then I just measured whatever the length of that top was for the foil portion. And then I just kind of like guessed at where I would want the flap to end. It's not accurate because obviously you would need that same spacing at the top folded down. But we're not going for accurate here. We're just going for cute, so it doesn't really matter. And then I just end up rounding that bottom corner with my scissors because it's not a 90-degree angle. It won't cut well with the corner punches that I have. So I just decided to quickly round the corner off with my scissors. In the original card on the pink that you see there, I did prop the foil portion up on a few layers of cardstock just to give it some depth, but this time I decided not to do that just because it added a little bit too much depth and then I had to add more to the elephant. So I didn't want to do that this time around. And I'm also blending around the edges just to give it some more depth and dimension on the wrapper itself. And I kind of held the foil portion there so I could like add some shading underneath just to make it look a little bit more three-dimensional. And then here I am using my foam tape that I got from Michael's. This is 1/16 inch thickness and it's like 1/2 inch wide, and I just put it on the back of it. It just kind of like makes it look more like a chocolate bar because it's sitting off the card, so it gives it a little bit more of a 3D effect. So that's why I decided to do that. And then I'll go ahead and attach the wrapper pieces before I start on my coloring and stamping for my images. And for my images, I'm using 3 different stamp sets. I'm using Hog Heaven from MFT. I'm using a set that Doodlebug collaborated with Simon Says Stamps for. I don't remember. I think it's So Punny or something like that. I won't link it down below because they don't have it in stock. It's like a one-time thing that they did, I think. And I've had it for years. But I'm sure you have either a die or another stamp set that would work for this. It's just the speech bubble that I'm using. And then the You're So Sweet sentiment is from another Doodlebug stamp set. And I'm not remembering what it's called at the moment, but I will definitely link this one down below because I believe this one is still available. But I will play a little bit of music while I color, so you guys don't have to listen to me try to think of things to say. So that's my stamping and cutting down for the pig. I did do a few extra layers for some dimension, but I do have the dies for these, so I did use that. I will cut out the speech bubble with my scissors because I don't have a coordinating die for that. And it's just too much work just to set up my machine for cutting this out. It's very simple and quick to cut out itself, so I didn't worry about that. And then I'll place them in the card. I do play around with it a little bit, but I end up using the same layout as I did for the first card. And that's about it for today. So thanks again for joining me, guys. Please give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what your thoughts are on this card. Let me know how my channel's going. Like, are you guys enjoying this new, like, speed through everything and I'll just chat over it kind of thing? Or do you prefer my older videos where I talked and slowed things down a bit? Let me know. Subscribe if you haven't already subscribed to my channel. I would love for you to join us here, and then you won't miss any future content if you hit that notification bell. So until next time, guys, thanks. Bye.